What's going on, Commanders fans? Quick video here. Nothing good at the moment. What's good? But yeah, Terry Mclaurin. This is reported from Nicki Jhabvala. She says talks between Commanders and Terry McLaurin's reps have continued per sources. While there's been some progress, they're still far apart, and as of now, things may change. McLaurin seems unlikely to show up for minicamp. He returned to Florida today to resume training for the season. So Ron Rivera last week, he said he expected to see Terry McLaurin there in mandatory minicamp. I think we all knew as fans and people paying close attention he was not going to be at minicamp until he gets a contract. That was said. Jeremy Fowler reported earlier this year saying that the Commanders cleared cap space to make a deal with Terry McLaurin. Now, am I hitting the panic button? I'm not, but certainly you should have your antennas up and your eyes should be wide open on the situation for sure. Now, they did sign Jonathan Allen right before training camp, but this does feel different. You know, you look at the wide receivers getting paid left and right. Cooper Kupp just got paid. What's his name? Christian Kirk got that big deal. A.J. Brown just got paid. Tyreek Hill got paid. Devontae Adams got paid. Stephon Diggs got an extension. So the money is going up. The price is going up. The bag is going up for these wide receivers. That's why it feels different. You look at Deebo Samuel. He wants to get paid. DK Metcalf wants to get paid. So it's a different vibe than John Allen. I get the comparison, but it's a different vibe for sure. And, you know, both of these guys are chill, reserved, very mature guys. They're not the guy that's going to go on Instagram and, you know, go on Twitter and make cryptic tweets and stuff like that. They're just two totally different young men than, you know, a lot of the receivers and guys out there asking for money. So, but yeah, it is in a perfect world, Ron was going to give Amari, and I bring this up all the time, Ron was going to give Amari Cooper $22 million. So Terry can get no less than $22 million, in my opinion. A.J. Brown getting $25 million. I think him and A.J. are in that same tier. A lot of people think A.J. Brown is better than Terry McLaurin. I respectfully disagree. I don't think he's better. And look at the list of the quarterbacks that Terry has played with. Ryan Fitzpatrick for a half. Taylor Heineke in that same game, he made the magical catch where I don't even know how in the world Terry McLaurin caught that ball against the Chargers. That was just a ridiculous catch. Taylor Heineke, Alex Smith, Kyle Allen, Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace, Case Keenum, Colt McCoy, Garrett Gilbert. And when he played with Garrett Gilbert, he mossed Darius Slay. So, I mean, this man has done everything possible to earn his money, in my opinion. He's played with 8 different quarterbacks, has torched every corner that you can name. Traylon Diggs, when he rocked the cradle on him, baby that man in the first game. James Bradbury's cooked him, Darius Slay. I mean, every corner, and he's a number 1 wide receiver on our team where he has not had a number 2 guy really beside him. Steve Sims, Isaiah Wright, Dontrell Inman, Cam Sims, guys like that. Those have been his wide receiver number 2s. A.J. Brown has played with Corey Davis and Julio Jones, and he's had a legit running back in Derrick Henry and a better quarterback in Ryan Tannehill. So Terry McLaurin has an argument for that. He has an argument to get paid. And honestly, I forgot to say, William Adams, the safety, got released. I think he went to Virginia State. And they released Brian Johnson, the kicker. So Joey Sly is the main kicker, Sly guy. But I just wanted to say that before. But yeah, and you look at the numbers. Terry McLaurin has 222 catches in his career, 3,090 yards, 16 touchdowns in 46 games. A.J. Brown has 185 catches, 2,995 yards, and 24 touchdowns. So the only thing A.J. Brown really has over him is touchdowns, and he just has better quarterback play. He has better quarterback play, and a better wide receiver around him, and a legitimate All-Pro, future Hall of Famer running back in Derrick Henry. So, that's the things for me, man. Terry McLaurin, he should get paid. So we just don't know the numbers. We don't know what Terry McLaurin's asking for. Is he asking for 24, 25 million? If he's asking for 25, then I can see a little bit why Ron and the Martys or whoever is hesitant on giving him that money. And Nicki Jhabvala, she said that they're far apart. That's the concerning thing too. They're far apart on the deal. They're still far apart. So that does stand out to me. And mandatory minicamp, you got to remember too, if he's not showing up, he can get fined. They could fine him $15,980 for the first missed day, $31,000 for the second missed day, and $47,000 for the third missed day. So the max for all 3 days is $95,000. Now training camp, they can waive the fines. They can decide not to fine them in minicamp, mandatory minicamp. But in training camp, they can't waive the fines. So if they don't find it, if they don't get a deal by training camp, they will have to fine him, and they're going to have to stay with those fines. They can't take those fines back in training camp. That's the new rules. Now, there's one concerning tweet that I found. Where is it at? It's this guy. His name is Matt Lombardo. He is a verified check guy on Twitter, but he's a national NFL reporter. This is the tweet that he got. A lot of fans are an uproar from this, and I wouldn't be surprised. See, the thing is with the thing why I'm not panicking, but at the same time, you got to think about this. You see how the Brandon Sheriff deal unfolded. You see how the Trent Williams saga unfolded. At the end of the day, Trent, you can say what he wanted, but he wanted to get paid. He wanted to get paid. We know Trent wanted to get paid. Kirk Cousins, guys getting franchise tagged. This could end up being a franchise tag situation with Terry McLaurin. But if you're gonna let it get to the franchise tag, then you might as well trade him. If you really don't want to pay him, Ron Rivera and company, then you might as well trade him and get value for him. That's how I feel about it. But I do want to pay. I would pay him the $25 million. I really would. I would give him the 4-year, $100 million deal, just like AJ Brown. I don't see a difference between the two. I really don't. I don't see a difference between. I think Terry's better, to be honest with you. I really do. Matt Lombardo, NFL on Twitter, he says, couple of things to keep in mind on Terry McLaurin. Hashtag Commanders front as McLaurin decides to skip minicamp. There's a feeling among sources Washington is aiming to avoid paying the skyrocketing wide receiver premium we've seen this offseason, especially with the uncertainty at quarterback with Carson Wentz and drafting Jahan Dotson. You know, Jahan Dotson has been balling in practice. He goes on to say Carson Wentz likely is not a long-term solution at quarterback, so a little shade at Carson Wentz there. He says the Commanders took Dotson in round 1 and have some leverage over Terry McLaurin. So I don't believe that I know Jahan Dotson's looking good, but that doesn't mean you just think Terry McLaurin is expendable. Washington could ultimately trade McLaurin for assets to better position themselves to get a franchise quarterback, especially as we've seen the wide receiver market explode. So if they're really thinking that way, then it's a flawed system. It really is. But like I said, if they really don't want to pay him, then they should trade him. If they really don't want to pay him, they should trade him. They should not do this franchise tag thing they did with Brandon Sheriff and the previous regime doing the franchise tag thing with Kirk Cousins. That would piss Terry McLaurin off. He would get paid like $19 million, and then the year after they would have to pay the 120% of the franchise tag, which would be $22 million. But yeah, I just seeing the history with Washington in general and Ron Rivera a little bit, how he does things. It did work out with John Allen, but he did franchise tag Brandon Sheriff twice. It doesn't give me a lot of confidence. I'm just being honest. But I'm not panicking yet. I'm just not. If he comes to training camp, if there's a time in training camp where he's not coming, then yeah, you may have to make a move. Now, lastly, what I will say, somebody commented on my channel the other day, and they were like, oh, what about Julio Jones? And they weren't saying anything about the Terry deal, but they were just like, oh, is Julio Jones still a free agent? And I was like, yeah, he is, but there's no point because we got Terry, we got Curtis, we got Jahan. And if this does get bad to the point where Terry McLaurin's still holding out and it does get to a point where they have to trade him or it just gets toxic, then and another team is willing to pay him, like say maybe the Chiefs maybe or the Packers are looking for a wide receiver to replace Devontae Adams. Let's say it gets to that point, then the Commanders might be desperate and they have to pick up Julio Jones. That's just a random thought there, but somebody did comment that on my channel, so it is what it is on that. So, but yeah, I might be a jinx. My wife, she just got me a Terry McLaurin jersey for Father's Day. She told me she's getting me a Terry McLaurin jersey. So, and last time I got a jersey was Darius Geis. So we all know what happened with that. So I don't want to jinx it, but you guys let me know what you guys think, man. Hopefully we get this deal done. Like I said, I'm not going to hit the panic button yet, but Terry McLaurin, he's earned that money. He has. Seriously, 8 quarterbacks, bad quarterback play. He deserves that money. All right, you guys. Hail to the Commanders. Peace.